Hello and welcome to Elite Athlete Training Systems. My name is Brad Damon. I am the founder, co-owner, and head strength coach here at E.A.T.S. If you're seeing this, it's because you recently bought a membership or a Kickstarter package and are looking to become part of our community, which I think is great. We've been working with athletes for over 15 years, and I'm excited to get to work with you as well. I just wanted to hop on here quickly and cover some of the kind of boring admin stuff that we have to get set up before we get you on the training floor and get you going. So with these videos, I want to cover downloading the Wellness Living app, setting up your profile, payment methods, scheduling, all that stuff so that you're comfortable with that before we get into it. I also want to talk about your first session, what you can expect, what you should bring, your overall kind of experience here, and just everything that you're going to need to know before you hit the floor. So hopefully we'll keep these videos as short as we can and just get to the point and show you what you need to know. But we're excited to work with you, and once we get through these videos, then we can get on the floor and we can do the fun stuff. So first thing we need to do is download the Wellness Living app. So you're going to head over to the Play Store. You're going to search for Wellness Living, and then you're looking for Wellness Living Achieve. There's another app, I can't quite recall the name of it, but it's for staff. Wellness Living Achieve is the one for clients. So go ahead and install that app and click open, and then check your email for the welcome email and to get set up. All right, so now that we've downloaded the app on mobile, once your profile is set up, you're going to get this email, this welcome email from E.A.T.S. So go ahead, open that, take your time, read through it if you'd like. If you haven't downloaded the app, you can do it at the bottom of the email here. What we're looking for is this set up your account button. So you're going to click on that. If you've already got an account like I do, like I've already got it set up, it's going to ask you to reset your password, but if not, it'll ask you to set up a password, or it'll bring you to this login screen. So I got all my info saved, so I'm just going to log into that. Another option, if your account is already set up and you're trying to book on desktop, the easiest way to get there is to go to our website, eliteathletetrainingsystems.com, and then just click the athlete login tab at the top there. But so this is what it looks like once your profile is set up in the app. So this is my membership page. I can see all my information. I can see my membership. I can see all my activity. That's the overview. I can edit my profile information in here. So you want to go through, make sure all that is correct. I can look at everything I've done on the app or the website through the activity tab. Passes and memberships will show me all the memberships that I have on my account, including my kids if I have kids on the account. If you have a balance, you can make a payment through the billing tab here, or you can add a credit card for automatic payments. This will give you a summary of all your transactions. Under the transactions tab here, if it loads, here we go. Under the contracts tab will be everything that you've signed, your waivers under the waiver tab, and then any notifications that you get, you can change how you get them. So either email or text message, you can edit that in there. Under the My Schedule tab, you'll see all your sessions that you have booked. So let's go through that now. So we're gonna go to Book Now. And then through here, I can book for myself, or if you have a child on your account, you can book through your child. So this is the Book Now page. You can see these sessions are grayed out because we can't sign up for these because we haven't given more than 12 hours notice. So the sessions tomorrow we can book into because it's more than 12 hours away. So let's go ahead and book into the 9:30 session tomorrow. So I'm going to click Book Now, and it's going to pull up another page. So you can see here, booking for Bradley Damon, that's me. It's going to be a single visit. I can set it to recurring if I change. And if I want to book in, say my kid, I have a kid, John Doe, on here, I can change that here. So let's go ahead and book him in. I'm going to click Save. And then over here, it'll show you where the session is at. It'll show you the coaches for the session, the time for the session. So this is all good to go. I'm going to click Complete Booking. And that's going to book my son in for 9:30 tomorrow. Then I can add to calendar. From there, I can get directions to the gym, all that good stuff. Click Done. And then let's go ahead and book a session for me. So maybe I'm going to come in Thursday at 4 p.m. So I'm going to click Book Now. It's going to bring up this screen. So I'm booking for Bradley Damon. That's me. It's going to be a single visit on this membership. Complete booking. Done. We're all booked in now. So if I go to this My Schedule tab, now you can see the sessions that are coming up for me. So Thursday, June 18th at 4 p.m. And then for my son, you can see his classes here. Now, we do have the ability to cancel these if you're more than 12 hours out of the session. Then the session will be returned to your profile. If you're within 12 hours, then you lose the session. So be aware of that when canceling sessions. But to cancel it, you're just going to go my schedule. You're going to find the session, click on these 3 dots here, and then just cancel session, and then cancel services, and it will take you out of that. Because this class is more than 12 hours away, this session will be returned to my son's profile, because that's my kid. And then for my session, I'm going to cancel, and that'll be returned to my profile. Now, other tabs here, we have the store. So when we have a pop-up shop or apparel for sale, that'll be in here. And then our rewards, and then just ability to edit your profile and log out from here. And that's about all you need to know for the desktop app. Next up, we'll dive into the mobile app. So now that we have booked on the website or desktop app, we are going to do it on the mobile app. So if you open the Wellness Living app that you downloaded, it might ask for your login info. If it's the first time, I'm already logged in, so this is the first page that pops up for me. From here, I'm on the Book Now tab, so we can book a class. At the bottom here, you can see my schedule, so we can see what's coming up. This Cassie is like AI robot thing that Wellness Living has, so you can ask questions about the app if you have questions. The store for our pop-up shop if you need that stuff. And then our More tab here, which is going to be where you can edit your profile. You'll also see your kids' profiles if they're connected to your profile. Now, part of kind of a pain in the ass thing about the Wellness Living mobile app is that if I want to book sessions for my child, you can see when I click on it, I'm not allowed to log in under that selected user. So what you have to do is be logged in on your kid's profile if you're booking sessions for them through the app. So you're not able to just choose who's going into the session like you are on the desktop app. I don't know why it is that way. It's very frustrating, but that's just the way it is. So again, if we go to that Book Now tab, all these Monday sessions are blocked off because they're within 12 hours, but the Tuesday sessions we could book into. So let's book Tuesday at 4 p.m. It's going to pop up this screen here. It'll tell you the class info, the instructors, the location. This is a one-time booking. If you click that, you could switch it to a repeat booking. And then at the bottom, this green button here, we're going to click Complete Booking. And that's going to put me in that class, confirmed. I can book another session, I can add it to my calendar, or I can just close out of this. And then if I go to my schedule, I can see I have that session coming up at 4 p.m. on Thursday, June 16th. And then if I want to cancel that session, I just click into it. I can click Cancel Booking. Again, same rules apply. If it's outside of a 12-hour window, you get the session back on your profile. If it's within 12 hours, then that session doesn't get returned to you. That is all you need to know about the mobile app, really. Just make sure that, again, if you're booking for your son or daughter, you are logged into their account on the mobile app and not your account. Now that we've finished with profile setup, billing, scheduling, all that good stuff, I just wanted to take a minute to kind of walk you through what to expect on your first session. So let's dive into that. What should you bring to your first session? Obviously, we have the equipment you need to train, but things you need to bring are things like a water bottle. We have somewhere to fill it up. We just don't have like a water fountain. So you're going to want to bring a water bottle for sure. Indoor shoes. We don't allow outdoor shoes in the facility. We don't require that you wear indoor shoes. Some athletes like to train in socked feet. We're fine with that. Although you should have some shoes with you for sprints, for jumping, and for any sled work we might do outside. And if you have asthma, definitely bring your inhaler with you, or any other medication that if you have a medical condition that could be affected by exercise, bring that stuff with you for sure. But other than that, we have everything that you need. Next up, where to go when you get here. So obviously just come on in through the front door, head over to the turf section. Staff will be there to greet you. And since it's your first session, we'll give you a tour around the gym and show you where all this stuff is. But just wanted to briefly introduce this stuff in the presentation here before you come in. So you can leave your outdoor shoes on the rack at the front door. There's racks on ground level, and then if you go up the first set of stairs, there's more shoe racks up there if we're running low on space. There's also a shoe rack in the east bay that you can use. So just leave your outdoor shoes on the rack there. There are hooks for bags and clothes and stuff like that scattered in the east and west bay. We'll show you where all those are. Feel free to hang up your backpack, any clothes, gym bag, whatever you might have. There are change rooms in the east bay. We have 2 change rooms and 2 washrooms that can be used as change rooms, so 4 in total. There's 1 washroom in each bay. You can fill up your water bottles in the sink in the east bay. And then once you have all that done before your session, head on over to the turf area. That's where we're going to do our warm-up. Water bottles can go on the shelf. We'll show you where that is when you come in for your session. And then just be ready to work. When should you show up? For your very first session, I would recommend showing up about 10 to 15 minutes early, just so we have time to give you that tour. We can show you where change rooms are. You can get changed, get settled, get ready to work for that first session. For your sessions after that, we have staff on the floor 15 minutes before the session starts. So if it's a 4 o'clock start, staff will be on the floor at 3:45 getting set up. You're welcome to come in that 15-minute window whenever you'd like. We have something called strength prep, which is kind of like mobility or prehab work that we'll have people do until the session starts. So that'll be laid out for you. So we'll just direct you towards that if you're early. Our warm-up will start 2 minutes after the session start time. So again, if the session starts at 4 o'clock, warm-up is going to start at 4:02. And we're going to do that as a group. I'll give you more info on that as we go here. And the session will generally take about 60 minutes. As you progress into the more advanced training, could be more like an hour 10, hour 20 minutes. But starting out, generally about 60 minutes for sessions. What to do if you're running late for your first session or any session after that? Just shoot myself or Rob a text, let us know you're running late. When you do get here, we'll either have you jump in with the group that's warming up, or we may have you start your own warm-up on the other side of the turf if they're pretty deep into warm-up, just to ensure that you get that full warm-up in and you get ready for the session. Now a little info on the warm-up itself and what you can expect to be doing. So the warm-up is calisthenics based, meaning that we're going to do a lot of hopping, jumping, bounding, crawling, push-ups, dead hangs, things like that. Just trying to take the body through all its possible ranges. We use this in the first session as kind of an assessment to see where your work capacity is at. After we've used it as an assessment, it becomes a really valuable tool in improving work capacity and conditioning because it is a difficult warm-up. A lot of people struggle with it when they first start out, so don't get discouraged if that's you. I've seen some people come in and just absolutely crush the warm-up and they go with the group the whole time and it takes about 8 minutes to get through. I've seen people come in and it takes the whole hour to get through the warm-up, and I've seen everything in between, so don't get discouraged if you're someone that's struggling with the warm-up. If you give it about 2 to 3 weeks, it does start to get easier. And once it starts to get easier, you'll notice everything else getting easier as well because you're going to be in much better shape once that warm-up is easy. And then after you're done your warm-up, you're going to grab your binder, and that's when we get into the actual training for the day. If you have some type of injury or tweak or something feels funky, let your coach know as soon as you can, as soon as you get here. Don't wait until just before the session starts or until the session has started. Generally, we'll have staff check in with all the athletes when they show up, ask them how they're feeling, ask them how things are going so that we can make sure we're on top of that stuff. But if you do have something going on, then we want to adjust the workout as needed to make sure you get the most out of your session you can without aggravating or making anything worse. So we need as much time as we can to make those changes. So as soon as you come in, let a coach know and we will adjust from there. Well, earlier I talked about after you finish the warm-up, you're going to grab your binder and get started on the workout for the day. So each athlete is going to have their own binder. Their name will be on it. The first page that's there when they open the binder will be that day's workout. So that's the one they're going to follow. Underneath that day's workout, there's going to be a green tab, and behind that is going to be the upcoming workouts, usually 3 or 4 of them. And then under that's going to be a red tab. Behind that is going to be all of the previous workouts that you did, with your most recent previous workout being the first one you see. So like whatever your last session was when you came in, that'll be the first one you see when you look behind the red tab, and then you can flip back through your history, and that's going to be kind of how we track weight and make sure that we're progressing weights. So which brings me to my next point. It's very important that you write down all the weights that you're using. Next slide, we're going to go over how to read the workout and how to use the template itself. So I'll show you where you're writing things, but make sure you're writing your weights down. Make sure you're making as many notes as possible. The more information you can give us, the better. And you're going to look back on those past workouts, like I said, under the red tab to make sure that we're progressing load over time. Because if we're not progressing load, then your body is just adapting to the demands we're placing upon it. We're not actually improving and getting stronger. So when you open the binder and you see the day's workout, this is what you're going to see here. This is an advanced hockey off-season workout, so it may not be this exact workout depending on what you're training for, but it will follow this kind of template. So I'm going to walk you through how to read this and how to make use of this. So if we look at the top here, this is the title bar, so we're going to have what the workout stream is. If you have your own individualized program, then it's just going to have your name up here. The next line is going to be what week this is, so in this case it's week 1D. And then the third line is going to be what day it is. So usually it's day 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it'll say day 1 lower, and then there'll be a day 2 lower in that week as well. So that's your title bar, and that's what that means, mostly just for staff for when we're organizing workouts and putting them into binders. Below that, when you come in, you're going to weigh in and write your weight here. There's a scale by the front door. We'll show you when you get here. You're going to weigh out at the end of the session, write your weight here, just so we can make sure that we're staying hydrated. We have a start of session readiness score and an end of session readiness score up here. So just out of 10, 10 being the best you've ever felt in your life. You could do anything. Give me a rating before the session and after the session. And then if we move down to the actual workout itself, this is the stuff that you really need to be paying attention to. So in this far left column, you can see MM, you can see SEC, ACC, GPP, and CD. So this is more for when I'm writing programs, just so I can compartmentalize everything. It's not really relevant to you, but just in case you're curious, MM is your main movements. So this is going to be the kind of meat and potatoes of the workout. Secondaries are going to be things that will help improve main movements. And generally at a little bit higher volume and lighter load than the main movements. Your accessories are going to be things that will build on weak points and really important areas for your sport or your body, depending on what type of programming you're on. And then your GPP is your general physical preparedness. So this is your ability to sustain work. You could think of this as conditioning as well, but I prefer the term GPP. And then CD is your cool down. So that's just mobility stuff. So when you finish your session, come talk to your coach, and if you need some mobility stuff, we can give it to you. Generally, we view training as mobility work, so there isn't a lot that we need to do in terms of mobility, but we have lots of foam rollers, lacrosse balls, different types of things and interventions for mobility that we can do. If you're having an issue, if something's feeling funky, we can definitely address that. In this column here, we have the exercise. So this is going to be the name of the exercise. Beside that is sets. So a set, if you're not sure what that means, a set is a particular number of reps. So if we look at distance box jumps, we're going to do 3 sets of 4 reps. So every time I do 4 reps, that's 1 set. After I do a set, I'm going to rest, and that's this column over here, your rest column. So for the box jumps, we're going to do 3 sets of 4 with 60-second rest between each set. The intensity column, so for non-specific kind of high intensity exercises, I'll just rank it as high, medium, or low. But for specific weight-bearing exercises, we use something called an RPE scale. So RPE is rate of perceived exertion. It's a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the hardest thing you ever did. And if we're looking for, say, a 7 to 8 RPE, as we are in this case, we're looking for something that is a 7 to 8 out of 10 difficulty, right? If it's less than that, then just call that a warm-up set, go a little bit heavier, and see where that's at. Training is just constantly trying to find where things rank for you in terms of difficulty, and then we can manage the overall training load and intensities through managing this RPE section. So a lot of what you're going to do is going to be in the 7 to 8 RPE range, but if it's something that is brand new to you, it might be more 6 to 7 RPE. If it's something where we're rehabbing an injury or working through some type of tweak, it might be a 5 to 6 RPE. If it's a max effort day, the exercise might be a 9 RPE, but that's just a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the hardest thing you've ever done. Don't overthink it too much. I kind of go back and forth on whether or not to include RPE in particularly like younger athletes programs, because it does tend to cause some confusion. But just keep it as simple as you can in your mind. Give something a rating out of 10 if it isn't within the range that's prescribed in the workout. If it's too light, then you need to go heavier and call that a warm-up set. If it's higher than the recommended RPE, then you need to back off the weight a little bit, but call that a work set since you overshot. But yeah, that's what intensity is. Definitely, if you have questions, ask your coach when you're here, and we will continue to try to explain and keep that clear for people as they progress. Next up is your load column. So this is going to be mostly what you're filling in. For some of the exercises you'll see, like for med ball throws, we've prescribed a weight, but generally it's going to be blank, just like you see down here. This is where you're going to write in the weight that you're using for that exercise. And it's very important that you write the weights in here so that we can progress over time. Now, if it's something like a distance box jump where there's no weight involved, I would just write BW or just put a strike through that box so that I know it was just body weight. But I hate to see empty boxes on a workout, so put something in there. And then if we're doing like safety squat bar split squats, I would put whatever the weight of the bar is. Maybe it's 135, maybe it's 95 pounds, whatever it is. That's what goes in the load column here. If you're running out of room, this will be on a sheet of paper, so you can write anywhere on the page and point an arrow to the box. You could flip it over, right on the back of the sheet. Just find some way to communicate the information to coaches and to myself for when I'm programming, so we know that we're progressing over time. Next up is your tempo column. So this column is going to be the tempo at which you're doing the exercise. So for something like, let's do the safety squat bar split squats first. You see the tempo is XX, X0. So when we look at a tempo like this, the very first variable, this first X here, this is called your eccentric phase or your muscle lengthening phase. So for something like a split squat, this is going to be going down. Your second variable here, the second X, this is your isometric phase. So that's the phase between the eccentric and concentric. You don't need to overthink it. That's just the point between going down and going up in a split squat. Your third X here, that is your concentric phase or your coming up phase on a split squat. And then the last number, the 0, this represents rest between reps, which generally in a program that I write is going to be 0. But I keep that in there just if you go off to college or wherever you may go, another coach may make use of that. So I just want people to be used to seeing the 4 variables in the tempo instead of just 3. If you see something like this that's all stars or asterisks, that just means explosive and violent throughout the entire movement. No real control, just go as hard as you can and be as explosive as you can with it. So you'll see that on stuff like sprints, med ball throws and jumps. There's really only one way to do those things, and that's explosive and fast. If you see just X's, that means control. So X means go nice and slow and controlled. You might also see it written out as slow and controlled. That's similar to X, although a little bit slower. Just really emphasizing the movement quality when you see something like that. And then I don't have any on this particular workout, but you might see an emphasis of like 0, 3, 0, 0, which would mean controlled on the way down in the eccentric phase, 3-second isometric hold, hard explosion on the concentric phase, and then 0 rest between reps. For the rest, that is your rest between sets. So for sprints, it's just going to be as needed. You're going to walk back and do the next sprint when you feel ready to sprint as hard as you can again. For your med ball throws, a little bit shorter rest intervals. For most exercise, it'll be about 60-second rest. And then your additional notes column over here, this is going to be where we put stuff, myself specifically who writes the programs. This is where I put stuff that you need to know about the exercise or your coach needs to know about the exercise. Where it's blank, you can fill in notes. And again, because it's a piece of paper, you can write outside the workout. You can write on the back of the workout. The more notes and information you give me to work with, the better, the more we can do to help you. And so that's your workout. That's how you read your workout. Don't be intimidated if you don't really understand that. Obviously, we will have staff on the floor at all times. They know how to read this stuff. They know what it means. So if you see an exercise like standing abducted, short lever, loaded hip axial cars, we know what that means. You're not expected to know what that means when you show up. So ask all the questions you need to ask. There's no dumb questions. But that is how you read and look at your workouts. So that's what you'll be seeing each day when you come in for that workout. Now I want to talk briefly about the group dynamics of training. So obviously this isn't a one-on-one training atmosphere. We try to have a small group of dedicated athletes that'll work hard and push each other. We generally have an 8-to-1 athlete to coach ratio. So if we have more than 8 athletes on the floor, then we have 2 coaches. We like to do the whole warm-up as a group. I think this sets the tone for the workout. It pushes people to go as hard as they can. And it also, for those athletes that are kind of similar in ability, it kind of creates that level of competition that we encourage. So we like to warm up as a group, but we train as individuals. So like I said, everyone has their binder and their workout. Some people might, like if we have 2 young hockey players, they might have the same youth hockey workout, in which case we might pair them together, or if they'd rather just work on their own, that's fine too. But we warm up as a group, we train as individuals, and we encourage competition. So if you have a buddy here, a lot of times kids will make friends here, and you want to train and compete with them. We love that. We think that's a great thing, and we think that that helps make better athletes. So competition is a good thing. Next up, if you have questions, like I said on the previous slide, definitely ask. There's no such thing as a dumb question. We are here to help, and we all had these questions when we first started out. So don't feel like anyone is going to judge you for your questions. Don't think that it's a stupid question. You shouldn't ask it. Ask a coach any questions you have. We're more than happy to help. And when you're starting out, it's going to be a lot more of a one-on-one vibe. We're going to have a coach kind of helping you through the whole thing. As you progress and become more advanced with your training, you start to earn more and more freedom. But we always have a coach on the floor bouncing around. So if you have questions, if you need a spot, any issues that you may run into, definitely talk to your coach. Next up, Gorilla Compound rules. So I'm not a guy that likes big, long lists of rules, but we do have a few of them. So let's just run through those quickly. Like we talked about, no outdoor shoes in the facility. You can wear indoor shoes, you can go socked feet, all that's fine, but no outdoor shoes. No phones on the gym floor. Now, obviously, if you have like a family emergency or something you need to keep tabs on, let your coach know, and we will allow you to do that. But we don't like athletes texting or scrolling Instagram between sets. They tend to take up to 10-minute rest intervals and not really focused and locked in on the workout. So we want to eliminate as much distraction as we can so that we can work hard and get better. We also don't allow headphones on the gym floor. We need you to be able to hear what the coach is saying to you when they're cueing you. So we have music, we have a great atmosphere. You don't need to disappear into your headphones. So we don't allow them on the floor. We ask that you take your water bottles, shoes, and clothing home with you after your session. We have a ton of people that come through here on any given day, and if everyone left all their stuff here, we wouldn't have room for any training. So we just ask that you take that stuff home with you. If you see something that needs to be addressed, let staff know. So things like if the washroom is dirty, if there's some equipment that seems to be faulty or you think might be in need of repair, let staff know as soon as possible and we will address that. We ask that you wipe down equipment after you use it. So we have spray bottles and rags all over the gym. Staff will show you where they are on our tour. We just ask that you spray the equipment down and wipe it off after you use it so we're not passing too many germs around. And on that note, if you're sick, please stay home and respect other people and not get them sick. If it's going to be a long-term sickness thing, talk to Rob and we will definitely accommodate in terms of membership. And then any questions about billing, scheduling, etc., feel free to contact Rob 780-803-8398 or email rob@eatssg.com. And that concludes this client onboarding presentation. Thanks for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this gave you all the information you need to feel comfortable and ready to go on day one. Now let's get to work.